Live on DSTV channel 421, Go TV channel 125, across all our social media handles. We're Joy News on TV. Coming up, members of CETA calls the bluff of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission as their strike continues unabated in blatant disregard of GTEC's directive. We'll hear from some students of colleges of education bearing the brunt of CETA's industrial action. Also in this bulletin, residents of Komenda in the central region accused President Akufo-Addo of failing to fulfill his numerous promises to operationalize Komenda sugar factories 8 years on. And later in the bulletin,
planted any sugarcane here. Our prayer was that they would have grown some sugarcane.
and later in the bulletin, mother accuses Mamobi General Hospital of medical negligence after cannula got stuck in her veins while on admission.
Came to give birth at the Mamobi Hospital, but had a cesarean session. After the operation,
I'm over there, so I'm actually feeling something over there.
You're watching Joy News today. We'll be back with details, so stay tuned in. Won't be ready. Thanks for staying with us. Now, residents of Komenda in the central region are accusing President Akufo-Addo of failing to fulfill his numerous promises to operationalize the Komenda sugar factory. According to the residents, their frustration is over government's decision to import raw and unrefined sugar after neglecting the factory for 8 years on. And the following features editor Richard Kojoyanko reports that in addition to the initial $35 million investment, government claims to have invested over 50 million Ghana cedis into the Komenda sugar factory.
The amount of land we need for the sugar, the type of sugar we can grow here, all those things were not properly organized. I think the ASR organization, and also the between strategic investor and also it me aba bisomu na enche obati bibi papa free menu enche.
President Akufo-Addo making a promise to the people of Komenda. That was 5 years ago.
The can sugar factory. Still, some civil works are being done there. Nyampa, by the end of March, it will be completed. And as I say, planning, no Indian phone by whenever by April, production will have begun of the sugar factory.
President Akufo-Addo promising the people of Komenda again when the chiefs of Komenda paid him a visit at the Jubilee House. And yet another promise in 2021.
According to Chairman and the people in the Ministry of Trade, arrangements are one year by the first quarter of 2022, now factory is going to start running again.
And another one in 2022. Other promises have been made to the people of Komenda by the president, but each time their hopes are dashed.
Unrefined sugar setup this one.
The setup for the unrefined sugar is too small.
See, I try machinery. I am his machine.
Deputy Trades and Industry Minister Michael Ochibefi announcing that government will be importing raw sugar to feed the factory.
Now the best we can do is because of America.
Now the best we can do is to import raw or unrefined sugar from South America until we get our own plantation.
The latest is Works and Housing Minister Kojo Oppong-Nkrumah. Mr. Oppong-Nkrumah, who was on a tour in the area, told the chiefs and people government needed their support in order to operationalize the factory.
Processed. It's on the CCR. I can't if we be our had what's the bogu factory no muzaye. As a kora obaka obe hianye there.
We don't have a plantation to feed a factory. What is left is to get raw sugar or unrefined sugar. When they are bringing it like that, government needs to waive the taxes on it to make it affordable. Our friends on the other side do not want to support it. We are appealing to you to intervene so they can allow us get the unrefined sugar to operationalize the factory.
Factory where Jumama, Komenda man who many home for Parliament, Yevena, Yedzamano. Yankadena, Naids or Yaza, when you order a parliament to me. For man to be mine. Now, here you know what's 1,000. 1,000.
This hasn't gone down well with the people.
And I'm in that there, Samana ministers, what by how bedunu. I'm a won't pay me with food. To man say, me, Jamia Captain.
I get angry. The deception by some ministers who come here. I am a carpenter, so when I hear that a minister is coming, I know that he won't come and say anything good. I only have to concentrate on the job I have learned to take care of my family.
I go for I'm back Komenda, I'm back as a pedam, engineer. Asa, wow, so many years. Abado,
I won't say anything that President Akufo-Addo says.
Second 4 years.
He is consistently
also lying
to us.
The
last 4 years, he deceived, and he deceived us in his second term as well.
In the market square here, scores of people have gathered in an indistinct chatter. The Komenda Sugar Factory is one of the conversations that does not struggle to find place in what folks talk about here.
They have wasted the land. We could have used it to build a mansion. It is better than leaving it in the state in which it is now.
Sugar factory now, when we are sure,
they have not planted any sugarcane here. Our prayer was that they would have grown some sugarcane to feed the factory.
Well, we'll be monitoring the situation and give you updates as when we have it. In subsequent bulletin, we'll be unpacking this, doing extensive analysis. Now, let's do some other stories. Philomena Asedia's joy of becoming a new mother at Mamobi General Hospital quickly turned into a nightmare after a cannula got stuck and was left stuck in her vein for days, causing her pain. While her fight to get the hospital to fix their mistake unveiled harrowing gaps in the healthcare system. My colleague Jacqueline Ansumayebwa has more in the following report.
Imagine a sharp pain or a piece of plastic stuck painfully in your vein. This was the reality for Philomena Asiedoa, who, after delivering her baby at Mamobi General Hospital, was left with a cannula stuck in her left vein in her left arm. Despite her desperate pleas, the hospital initially refused to take responsibility or cover the cost for its removal. Well, currently I am at the Mamobi General Hospital where an incident occurred. This is with me here is Philomena Asiedoa, where she had a surgery, she had a baby last week, but during the procedure, a cannula was left inside her vein. But then I'll just want her to explain further how the issues have panned out over these last few days. Asiedoa, so then ACA.
I
came to give birth at the Mamobi Hospital, but had a cesarean session. After the operation,
over there, so I'm actually feeling something over there. I feel like a pain, something like that there. So,
just before I was discharged, I discovered that the cannula was broken in my vein. I was given a referral letter to Kolubu, but the doctors there informed me that the procedure wasn't free. It would typically charge 1,000 Ghana cedis, but agreed to take 600 Ghana cedis from Mamobi Hospital. When I returned to Mamobi, they told me to borrow money for the surgery, but I didn't have any. I explained that I had no one to turn to for help.
So I have the husband here with me too.
I came with her. The hospital staff told us they will speak with the doctors and asked us to wait. After 2 hours, they directed us to go to the administration. There, the person in charge told us to come back at 4 p.m. However, by the time I had already left for Kolebu to look after my children in the incubator. Later, I asked my wife what happened, and she told me the hospital didn't attend to her and instead asked her to come back today. My pastor advised that he would come with my wife instead of me, and I agreed and went back to Kolebu. My pastor later called to say they were at Joy FM.
Well, so I'm still here with the family. We came to the hospital to make inquiries to find out if this is indeed true. So I spoke to the doctor and people in charge, and they actually confirmed the fact that yes, it's true. The cannula was left inside her vein. Initially, they asked for her to write a report stating what actually happened to her. So that the hospital can help, that is Mamobi General Hospital. But then another superior who is also here says that, well, those in charge who would probably have to sign off the money for her to know around. So we are waiting to see what the hospital has to say, because if not, she would have to go through the weekend, because today is a Friday, and then a Saturday, then a Sunday. So it means she has to wait through till a Monday. It's barely like around 2 p.m. right now. We're still at the Mamobi General Hospital waiting on what the hospital has to say, because this has been days. How long has this been? Days now, what are you saying?
And any week.
It's been a week already since the cannula was left inside.
You know, I didn't wait a show her 1 week. So it's been 1 week. So we're still waiting. 19 July, currently here, waiting on what the hospital has to say.
The turning point came when concerned church members, supported by a news team member, confronted the hospital staff. After several confrontations with the family, Mamobi General Hospital finally agreed to pay the 600 Ghana cedis needed for the procedure at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. We joined Philomena and her family as they made their way to Kolebu. Arriving at 3:19 p.m., the anxious wait began. After 40 to 50 minutes, they were faced with a choice: wait for the busy surgeons or return on Monday. Philomena, determined to end her suffering, chose to wait. Late that evening, the family was informed that the procedure would take place the following day. Despite the successful removal of the cannula, the trauma lingered. We returned to Mamobi Hospital the following week, seeking the side of the story. On Monday, July 22nd, 2024, we were asked to come back the next day, only to be met with silence as the hospital delayed their response pending an internal investigation.
Well, I just came out of Mamobi General Hospital's administration just to follow up on the issue of a cannula being left in a patient's vein. But then I was here yesterday, which is Monday. The issue happened on Friday, and Monday I came here just to get clarification as to what actually transpired and what the hospital is doing about this issue. But then I was sent away to come back the following day, which is today, 23rd July 2024. But then the hospital, after deliberations this afternoon, says that they haven't been given the clearance to speak on this issue, but to even suggest a higher authority for me to speak to, they said they are equally not in the right space to do that.
Philomena's ordeal is a stark reminder of the critical issues within our healthcare system. Her resilience and determination highlight the urgent need for accountability and reform.
Reporting for Joy News, I am Jacqueline Ansuma Yeboah.
Students at the Accra Colleges of Education continue to reel under the harsh effects of the strike by the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana. We know that members of CTAC have called the bluff of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission as their strike continues unabated in blatant disregard of GTEC's directive. GTEC, we know, ordered the Controller and Accountant General's Department to freeze the salaries of defined teachers as they urged them to return to the classroom. With academic activities in limbo, GTEC has returned to the negotiation table with leadership of CTAC. Let's touch base with our reporters on the ground. We'll start from the Ashanti region as we gauge the impact of the strike. Nana Boachi Yadom is my man. Nana, what can you report?
Education Teachers Association of Ghana, CTAC, embarked on an industrial action. Well, the strike has really taken a toll on academic activities in various colleges of education campuses that we have visited here in the Ashanti region. We've visited the St. Louis College of Education, and then where we are currently is the Wesley College of Education. This is a very large college of education, a very large school with a student population of 1,643. But as we stand here, well, as we are here currently, you can see that the environment is very quiet, which shows that a number of students are outside campus. They've left campus, they've gone to their various houses. We have visited their dormitory. I've been there, we've checked from their classrooms, and per our observation, the classrooms are locked and the dormitories look a bit empty. A few students are there, and then what they tell us is that in no time they would also be going home because they see no end in sight in this industrial action by the Colleges of Education Teachers Association of Ghana. Well, the St. Louis College of Education looks a bit like this, very quiet, with students also going to their various houses. When we got there, the school authorities told us that a number of students had to leave campus this morning and even yesterday since CTAC issued that release after withdrawing their services totally. And this is the same situation we are observing here at the Wesley College of Education. Academic activities have come to a halt. 21 days, if you're not able to go to class for 21 days, affiliate universities have their policy which says that you would not be able to participate in the examination. But then, in this case, CTAC has embarked on the strike for more than 21 days. Will students be able to participate in their final examination, especially for these students who would have to leave school this year? I have the SRC president here with me. They were in a meeting, discussing issues relevant to what is currently ongoing with regards to the strike by CTAC. Mr. President, looking at what is happening almost 6 weeks now. In fact, you're in the 6th week of the strike. What is the situation on campus? What are your students saying? You as a student, what is the experience like?
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity given. As you said, it has been 6 weeks now, and since we resumed to campus, and our lecturers have not been to class to teach us. In fact, it has been a challenge to us as students because there are some courses that we don't have course materials, and there are some courses that we don't even have course outlines. And so it has become a challenge to us as even as SRC executives, because right now, looking at our level 100 students, they don't know anything about strike activities. So right now, it is we, the SRC, that has taken this burden upon ourselves to take them through some of the courses that you are doing. And it has also added an extra burden to us because we also have our studies that we have to do, but right now it is sacrifice work we are doing. So if you ask me, some of the experience that we are going through, in fact, is a challenge to us as students.
I was speaking to some students the last time I came here, and then their complaint was about your final examination. They were final year, so they were complaining about their final year examination. What is the situation when it comes to your final year examination? What are school authorities telling you?
So with the final exams, our level 400 students are supposed to complete school that is coming September 7th. And as it stands right now, there is a strike ongoing, and they are even confused as we speak. They are even confused because right now they have not learned anything. Lecturers have not been to class to teach them. So their question is, what are they going to write? Under normal circumstances, we had to go through quizzes. We had to write quizzes so that we can get some marks accumulated for RCE. Yes, but then right now there has not they have not written any quiz, any kind of exercise yet. So it has become a challenge. Right now, we don't know whether we are writing the exams or not. But according to the policy of our affiliated universities, like if you exempt yourself from class, that is 21 days, you are not supposed to write exams. And right now, CITAC has been on strike more than 21 days we are talking about. So we also stand that if they are going by the policy, then we shouldn't be allowed to write exams as well.
Well, thank you, Nana Boachi Adam. Let's come back to the Greater Accra region. My colleague Kenneth Jesse has been to the Accra Colleges of Education campus. He's been engaging some students who'll be joining us live. We know that indeed GTech is trying to negotiate with CTAG to return to the classroom. Unfortunately, CTAG has called the bluff of GTech. Now they have refused to return to the classroom. We know that GTech ordered the Controller and Accountant General's Department to freeze the salaries of defunct teachers. Kenneth, I'm sure I have connection to you now. Tell us what's happening from where you are.
We are stranded and at a confused state as I speak. The CITAC and the government should reach a resolution as soon as possible. And then I am actually in particular with the government. This is not a first issue that they are bringing up. It's an issue over years. So I am thinking that the government should act swift on the matter, because the tutors, what they are demanding for, in a way, is due them.
I'm expecting that they call off the strike and come to school and come and continue their service to the nation and help us with what we are supposed to do, because the examination time is coming on right now. So if they don't come in, it will be difficult for us to pass our exams.
The strike has really affected us. I'm not the only person, almost all of us. It has affected us negatively. Ever since we came to school, there has not been any teaching or anything like that. So it's really affecting us a lot. I was staying on campus, like sometimes you need a guide of your teacher to be able to understand what you are studying. But we can just go and read with your own understanding, which is not actually helping or improving our studies on campus.
Well, Fidelis Kamai, member of the National Communications team of CTAC, says they are willing to forfeit their salaries, as they will only call off their strike if government satisfies their demands.
Before we embarked on this strike, we knew that this is one of the strategies the employer was going to use. So we are ready, or we were ready for it. And when the directive was issued, it has even motivated and gingered most of our tutors, and they're saying that they should even take the August salary in addition, because until all the arbitral awards are complied with or implemented, they can go ahead and continue to freeze the salaries. So if you ask me, though I might be affected, but I have psyched myself psychologically, and I'm ready for it.
So even if this takes a year, you are not ready to batch?
We don't foresee that this will take a year, because the academic calendar is going to be hugely affected. We have students in final year who have one more semester left for them to complete, and we have also started selling admission forms for new level 100s to be admitted. So if you look at all these things, it will not augur well for the educational system in the country. So our employer will not go there. Okay, so when we got the information that our July salary was going to be stopped or was not going to be paid, Council had an emergency meeting, and it was directed that all other services should be withdrawn, which we have effectively communicated to our employer through our principals. So yesterday, at the instance of the Minister of Education, he called for a meeting inviting our national executives, and then in that meeting we also had GTech, Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, Ministry of Employment and Labour Relations representatives, and Fair Wages Commission. So we had a meeting, and then they brought a number of proposals concerning the issue at hand. And we are really yet to table the proposals to our council one more time. Then whatever decision the council takes, then that will what to be communicated and to be done.
Well, President Akufo-Addo says he keeps receiving applause from his peers for what he described as the successful hosting of the 2023 African Games. Ghana welcomed 13,000 athletes and officials for the continental event back in March. The Games were predominantly hosted at the Botiman Sports Complex and the University of Ghana Stadium as Ghana clinched an impressive 69 medals. President Akufo-Addo shared his excitement when he met with the local organizing committee yesterday, the first meeting after the Games ended.
We should all pat each other on the back. I say that because these big undertakings, if you don't have confidence in the people who are going to work them, you will not put your neck out. And I have to confess, the very first time that you and your team came here to press the case for these games, I was very impressed by you. I was impressed by your commitment, your passion, and also the articulation. It clearly demonstrated that given the opportunity, you could do it. And it is on that basis that I also had the confidence to go forward at the AU, at the Sababa, and elsewhere to insist that we're going to do it and that we will do it well. Nothing is, one of the things that is a highlight of my presidency is the way in which my fellow peers, my fellow presidents across the country have been congratulating me wherever I go on the success of the Africa Games. These are what, the 13th, is it? 13th. The 13th edition of the African Games, that they went very, very well. And the whole continent has felt enhanced and elevated by it. This very weekend, Musa Faki Mahamat, who's the president of the AU Commission, was talking about the Games. Yes, it's one of the things that he believes has happened recently that has done a lot to raise the image of the continent. So I have to thank all of you for your contribution and for your hard work and dedication to duty that has made it possible for these games to have come and gone. It's not easy. 13,000 people. And I said enough for 13,000 people. So you have to look after 13,000 people and manage them and see to it that they are comfortable, they're fed, they're bathed and nourished, and they're looked after. But you've done it.
Now, the Volta Regional New Patriotic Party wing has rubbished claims by the National Democratic Congress that President Akufo-Addo does deserve to be honored by the University of Allied Sciences. According to the Volta Regional NPP Chairman Makafui Wayana, the Akufo-Addo-led government's contribution to the development of the university outweighs that of the NDC. Hence, President Akufo-Addo merits the proposed honorary doctorate. He was addressing the media in Hull.
The late President John Evans Atta Mills of the National Democratic Congress proposed and established the University of Health and Allied Sciences, which started operations in September 2012. The University Council announced a decision to confer an honorary doctorate on President Akufo-Addo, which did not sit well with the NDC. The NDC Volta Youth Wing and a group calling itself Concerned Volta Youth claimed those who led and played roles in the establishment of the university should be honored and not President Akufo-Addo. Addressing a press conference in Hull, the Volta Regional Chairman of the NPP, Makafui Wanya, rubbished the claims.
Public universities are built and funded by public resources and the taxpayers' money, and does not belong to any ethnic group, let alone a political party. Otherwise, Ashanti-Hini and Ashanti-Ma should lay claim to KNUST, and the Ugwa people should take over the University of Cape Coast and determine their internal policies and operations. best to our knowledge, the university has already instituted an Atamil's memorial lectures in honor of the late former president. It is also on record that the wife of the late former president, Mrs. Ernestina Nadu Mills, was a pioneer recipient of an Honorary Doctorate Award from the same university. Therefore, the posture and the threat of the so-called NDC youth wing and their surrogates is not only shameful and condemnable, but also dangerous, also a dangerous precedent.
He stressed that President John Mahama, who succeeded the late President Atta Mills, neglected the infrastructure development of the university. He said if not for the pragmatic efforts of the current government, the Chinese government would not have released money for the Phase 2 expansion project.
It took the personal interest and commitment of the president and his government to set an escrow account and paid in the counterpart funding as a condition precedent for accessing a $60 million loan facility for the Phase 2 expansion of UHAS. The Nanado government's partnership with the Chinese government in Phase 2 of the UHAS resulted in a $60 million project that included construction of the Central Administration Complex, the largest school of nursing and midwifery in West Africa, and a fully equipped state-of-the-art simulation center. The project is expected to increase students' capacity by at least 2,500.
Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News.
You're watching Joy News Today. We'll be back with business, sports, and showbiz. Do stay tuned in.
Good afternoon and welcome to the business segment on Joy News Today with me, Pius Kojo Baka. In our very first story, an application for an interim preservation of $25 million has been granted by the Commercial Court Division of the High Court in relation to a case involving the construction of Bunkra Integrated Logistics Terminal in the Ashanti region. This follows the failure of the defendant, Just More Construction, to follow through an order by an arbitral tribunal. Already, Ashanti Port Services Limited, who is pursuing the case, are in legal tussle with Just More Construction and the Ghana Shippers Authority in two separate cases. There is more in the following report.
The complainant, Ashanti Port Services Limited, went to court after the respondent, Just More Construction, failed to show evidence of preservation of the awarded $25 million. In a response, counsel for Just More Construction claimed the adjudication body lacked jurisdiction to make the decision, but the court upheld the decision of the arbitration body. Until the short-cutting of the Bunkra Integrated Logistic Terminal in 2020, the project was on the drawing board for close to 18 years. The project, when completed, will link ports at Tema and Takrade to other parts of the country and neighboring countries. A concessionaire, Ashanti Port Services Limited, was to build and operate for 30 years before transfer to the government. But the contract was terminated by the Ghana Shippers Authority over allegations the concessionaire was unable to meet financial obligations. These concerns were raised during a recent working visit to the project site by the Parliamentary Select Committee on Transport, led by Kennedy Osei-Nyako.
The committee have already requested for all correspondence leading to the termination of the. When we get those letters, we'll be much informed as to what exactly has taken place. So I think let's wait to get those documents as I have requested for. You will have the opportunity to get copies of it if you want. Immediately when the committee obtains those documents, we will not hide it from the public. We came with you. You are part of the team that came. You have the right to get the document, and we'll make it available to the public. So don't worry. Definitely we will have it, and you will have sufficient.
The concessionaire is presently in court seeking declaration of the unilateral termination of the agreement as unlawful and the halt of the project pending the court process. Among other reliefs, the claimant is seeking damages of the expenses incurred of about 16 million cedis. Already, Justmo Construction is undertaking the first phase of the project, though the contract is yet to be regularized. For Joy News, Nanaya Ojima, Kumasi.
The head of Department of Information Technology and Decision Science at the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Dr. Peter Apiahene, has called for a collaborative effort on digital technologies and policies, especially among the universities, due to its importance in Ghana's development. Speaking ahead of the university's third annual Tech Fair, Dr. Apiahene noted that the contribution of successive governments in line with growth of the digital space is very crucial, but urged stakeholders to embrace it through partnerships to ensure maximum benefits. Precious Semevo has more.
The Department of Information Technology and Decision Science at the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Sunyani, underscores the critical importance of digital technologies and opportunities in Ghana's development strategy. The department believes IT policies and digitalization should be at the forefront of national discourse. As part of their commitment to leveraging digital tools and innovations to improve the quality of life of Ghanaians, the university hopes to use the third annual Tech Fair on Friday, July 26, 2024, to bring policymakers and other key stakeholders in the industry to shape digital policy discussions and exhibitions. Dr. Peter Apiahene is the head of the department.
Digitalization is not just a trend, but a necessity for Ghana's economic growth. And by integrating digital technologies into various sectors, we can enhance our efficiency, transparency, fight corruption, and also promote innovation. And this Tech Fair is going to provide a platform for showcasing these technologies and also fostering dialogue on how they can be implemented effectively. You will be surprised to see some of the applications that students in this university have done, to the extent that students even develop applications for detecting anemia. As a developing country like Ghana, technology is our surest bet for leapfrogging in nation building and development.
He said institutions should embark on digital development collaboration to ensure the expected growth and benefits for Ghanaians.
Gone are the days where people will have to carry big money before they can do their marketing. That is the importance of digitalization. And we all know that digitalization has come to stay. All of us as a country, we must embrace it. Irrespective of who is spearheading it, we must embrace it. And there are history or there are track records to show that successive government and current government, they have made significant contribution and effort in trying to realize or making this digitalization agenda a reality. And we as a department, we are poised and we are always ready to collaborate and work with any institution who are ready or who is ready to work and promote digitalization in Africa and also Ghana. That is why we are of the view that other sister universities to collaborate with us. This is not just a UNE affair. This is a national affair because the future is now. It's not just for our department, but it's for our country, Ghana.
The UNE 2024 Tech Fair is themed "The Future is Now," integrating digitalization in Ghana's development agenda. Precious Semevo, Joy News, Sunyani.
And that's all for business for now. I am Pius Kojo Baka. That will be at 1 p.m. with the marketplace.
Let's do sports now on JN Today with me, Haruna Mubarak. Now, the Paris 2024 Olympic Games officially begins tomorrow, and Ghana will be represented by 8 athletes, including 5 in the men's 4x100 meters relay event. The country has not won a medal in that event since 1964, but there is renewed optimism about ending the long-standing drought. Here is a member of the team, Joe Paul, speaking to my colleague, Muftawa Nabila Abdullahi.
What we actually, this is what we've wanted the whole time, where it's like we have, get in a group where it's like we have about 5 or 6 people running really fast. And I know Prof. Andrew would actually testify to this because it's like, I'll say it's a good problem to have for a coach, where it's like you have so many, good athletes to pick from. We just, like you mentioned, we are number 7 in the world. What we actually talk about is not being complacent going into the races. We just want to take it race by race. Being 7th in the world means on paper you should be able to make the finals because it's about 8 or 9 teams that go into the finals. So are we going to say, okay, we're 7th in the world, so we anyhow you run it, we're still going to make the finals? We can't say that. We have to.
Now, Sports Minister Mustafa Yusuf has admitted to facing financial challenges in completing the youth resource centers under construction. Out of the 10 planned projects, only the Koforidua facility has been commissioned. While some centers are close to completion, work has stalled at other venues.
We had challenges with some of them, and I must admit, with regards to payment to the contractors. But because the contractors have not handed over the project to us, you can't go and use it because we have not commissioned them. The challenges has to do with payment of their certificates, but we are working very hard to make sure that they get their payment and they can go back and complete them for us to put them to good use. Then the 4 that we had issues with the contractors, that's Azuma Nelson, Youth Research Centers in Greater Accra here, Yendi in the northern region, Navrungu in the Upper East region, and Nyinanyini in the Ashanti region. Nyinanyini, recently we asked the contractor of the phase 2 to start. In fact, he has started, and he has to also abandon site because of payment. But the second phase have started, and he has to abandon again because of payment. But let me assure you, the media, that we are working very hard to get the payment to all the contractors to go back. Those with the challenges with the phase 2, we have resolved those challenges, and very soon the second phase contractors will also start on the.
And that's your sports on JN Today. My name is Haruna Mubarak. Thanks for watching.
Good afternoon, and welcome to the Shelper segments with me, Jacqueline and Sumayabwa. Now to our first story for Throwback Thursday. Remember when fashion calendars were the style guides hanging in every salon and barber shops? Those were nostalgic days are now just a click away thanks to Pinterest and technology. Today, we take a trip down memory lane to revisit these retro style papers.
Years ago, walking into a salon meant being greeted with a question, which style do you want? And a fashion calendar will be handed over. These calendars adorned with the latest hairdos and trendy outfit were the ultimate style guides. They hung proudly in salons and barbershops, helping clients choose their next look. But in today's tech-savvy world, Pinterest and other platforms has swooped in, making these once beloved calendars almost obsolete. With just a few taps, you can scroll through endless style options, making fashion calendars a relic of the past. Not just in salons, even barbering shops were once decked out with these style sheets, guiding many through their grooming choices. Now, it's all about screen time and not flip time. As we embrace the digital age, let's not forget the joy these fashion calendars brought. They were more than just paper. They were a snapshot of style history. So next time you pin a hairstyle on Pinterest, remember the old school calendars that paved the way. For Joy News, I am Jacqueline Ansuma Yabua.
While a producer is essential in all facets of media, as a producer helps a presenter reach their full potential. However, Joy FM's broadcast journalist and presenter Doreen Ando appears to have a different perspective on being produced. During the premiere of Season 2 of Joy Prime's Changes, she disclosed that she independently produced her own shows for the first 10 years of her career.
I worked for 10 years without a producer, so I don't know what it is to have worked with a producer from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I worked for 10 years without a producer. I was my own presenter, producer.
What about DJing?
My own DJ. Permit me to add that too as well. I've always played my own music.
Always.
I never used a DJ. Never.
Wow.
I've learned to do it from scratch.
On that note, this is a wrap for the showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline and Sumayabwa. We have more after this.
You're watching Joy News today. Now, let's tell you all about the Joy News National Dialogue. I have Richard Kojo. He's an assistant editor. He's head of our features desk and also a leading member of our legal affairs desk. Richard, what should we expect today?
Well, so beyond the SNIT Rock City love affair, I mean, that got everybody talking. We are going beyond that. And so we want to have a broader conversation about our pensions. How do we reform them? How do we go forward looking at best practices, I mean, from elsewhere? And so how generally our funds are being managed so that when you and I, we go on pension, we may not be found wanting.
Thank you so much. Who are our guests scheduled to appear today?
Well, so we have a tall list of stakeholders in this pension scheme. So we have organized labor, we have Angel Kabonu, we have Director General of, former Director General of SNATE. We also have the Ghana Registered Nurses Association. We have the private pensions. We also have other people that will get involved in this kind of conversation.
And this is happening what time?
6 p.m. today, and so 6 to 9 p.m. Let's all gather here. It's about a conversation about you and I. We all will grow one day. We'll go on retirement, and then when we go on retirement, what happens to us?
What happens to us? You'll find out when you join us at 6 p.m. for our Joy News National Dialogue. My name is Faustina Safo. It's been a pleasure spending the past 60 minutes with you. For more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. Have a pleasant day as you enjoy the rest of our programs.